welcome, everyone that shows up. My name is John. Welcome to Fealys Clutch. Today we are going to be talking with Jeremy from AllTime Reptiles. And one of my near and dear friends, poor guys, had to deal with me on a number of
Yes, I have. Good times, though.
Oh, they were great times. Definitely has a very nice setup. We'll get into that later. His couch is really nice. I've enjoyed that a couple of times. I've enjoyed
the recliner.
Don't forget the recliner, a bed. Poor guy opened his house up a few times to me. But yeah, Jeremy, tell us who you are.
Just an average person, just like you guys. I mean, I work a full-time job and got into reptiles. I had a snake back when I was like 20, kept getting out. Finally I had to get rid of it. And so I went years and years and years. And then when I come home from a deployment, I talked to my kids. We went to an expo, and we decided to buy one. And then I seen another one that was at the same breeder's house. And I was like, well, that one's cool too. So let's just buy both of them. So we bought both of them. And then, you know, the more I started watching YouTube, the more I started learning about like genetics and stuff like that. I'm like, well, let's get a couple more. So I went from 2 to 4, 4 to 8, and then it kept stacking. So I was probably, I mean,
the addiction.
Oh yeah.
The addiction kicked in strong with you early.
Well, and I knew the genetics, but I didn't know like codoms. I didn't know recessives. I didn't know any of that stuff. I just knew, okay, if I took this one, bred it with this one, then, you know, we'd be good. Well, about 6 months into it, then I really started picking up, you know, recessives and dominance and codominance, and then everything changed. So now I've got so many genes in my collection. What I've done is I've kind of stepped back. And so usually I'd always buy something at an expo, but now if it doesn't fit in the program, then we're not going to get it. So build up that money for, you know, the higher end stuff, the cooler stuff. You know how it works.
Right. Yep.
And so, but ex-military, I did 8 years in the Army National Guard, deployed to Kuwait for a year. I have a Harley, you know, love motorcycles. I mean, got to have the goatee, beard, whatever, you know. So I have 3 kids.
Dude's freaking gnarly, dude.
Dude, it's getting so long. So it's starting to curl too, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So, but it's way cool. So other than that, I'm very outdoorsy. TV doesn't turn on. I'm just so busy because I come home and I deal with animals, I deal with chickens, I deal with rats. I am the distributor for Utah, Nevada, and Arizona for REPTICHIP. You can even pull it up on their website. It'll pinpoint me. I basically run all the reps in all those states. My son's down in Arizona repping it. I've got a handful of people up here. I'm almost at 5 pet stores. I do an aquarium. So when I first got into it, JT talked to me and he goes, hey, you know, if you want to get it at a good price, he goes, how would you feel about being a rep? And I didn't understand what a rep was. And so he kind of explained it to me. And then after that, I was like, okay, well, I'll purchase my first pallet. I don't even know if I can sell it, you know. At least I'll have bedding. At least I'll have bedding for a long period of time.
You have all the bedding you need.
Oh man, one pallet is 210 blocks.
Jesus.
10-pound blocks. So that is a 2,100 pounds on a pallet. And I'm like, I hope I can sell this. Like, I don't, you know, but I've used it and I love it. But, you know, it's kind of, if you don't step out of the box, then you're not going to find out. And I think as of this year, we've purchased, I think we're at, with the new shipment we just got in, we're probably 10 pallets so far for the year. And, you know, so that's, yeah, it's way huge.
Yeah, like one, that's monumental numbers in the first place, but two, the fact that everyone's kind of at home and not doing their normal rituals.
Right.
I mean, I guess that it kind of plays into it at a sales aspect because people are home, they're paying attention to their animals a little bit more.
And I think
They're
that's
trying
what
to
it
do
is.
they're trying to do their thing. So the growth opportunity is definitely there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've seen over the whole COVID thing. I actually quit my job, and I thought about doing it full time. I sold a couple higher end animals, had some money come in, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this full time. And then all the expos stopped. Boom, everything was gone, and I was like, I'm done for. I'm in the water. So I just crunched, and I was selling REPTICHIP and doing my thing with my animals and doing my new snake room, well, reptile room, because it's gonna have monitors and geckos and babies in it, retics, pretty much all of it. But I just crunched on that, and it kind of kept me fairly sane, like a normal person, I guess. I don't know. I'm not normal
in the first place.
I was gonna say I'm definitely not normal. I'm, when you tell somebody, hey, I gotta feed a couple babies real fast, and I come upstairs and I'm like, yeah, I just got done feeding like 30 babies, and they're just like, 30 snakes? Are you serious? It's like,
oh, that's just the babies.
Yeah, that's just the babies. That was easy. That's nothing. Yeah, they think you're off your rocker, but then once they actually see the way you set up, it's a whole different ball game. So they're like, okay, I'm not scared of them because I know that I'm not going to hand them a snake saying, hey, this one's going to bite you, but here you go.
I mean, I might do it.
It depends. If it's a friend.
How much do you like that person? How much do you really like that?
Yeah, exactly. How do you get them out of your house? Oh, here, hold this one. So yes, definitely.
That's the Great Dane's job. Although no one will ever, like, I can attest to this. His Great Dane's the biggest baby and probably the biggest scaredy cat in the world. But once you win that dog's trust, you cannot get it off of you. And I'm talking about like, what's a Great Dane weigh, man? Like 150 pounds?
No, I bet he's 115-ish, maybe 120. Really? Oh yeah, he comes up and he'll be like, come on, pet me. And he'll put his arm like right underneath you, just like, you're good. Oh, and speaking of that, I know my boy's getting old. And so I've been looking. I actually put a deposit on another Great Dane.
Oh, Lord.
Oh man, I got me a female, black and white with blue spots as well, and she's got blue eyes. Dude, it's gonna be. She's big. Her mom was 145 pounds, and the dad was 2 inches taller than her.
Jesus, wow. So yeah, that just gives all of our viewers right now a little bit of insight. So tell us what all you're working with. Like, obviously we know you're in ball pythons. You have a major collection with ball pythons, but what all is at AllTime Reptiles?
So I've got I work with leopard geckos. I deal with the rainwaters. That kind of started because of my son. What I did is he wanted to get into some, everybody gets to the point they're like, okay, ball pythons are boring. Well, they're not because of the genetics. And so, everybody says they want a retic or a boa because they're more active. When they get big, you'll find out how much you really want them to be active. So I got into the leopard geckos with my son. We work with the rainwaters, which is an albino. And then we have a couple other ones we work with, like the Murphy's patternless. I have retics, boas. I've got
talking this shit on retics when you keep them yourself. Jeez.
Oh, I love my retic. I have one that I take to every show if I can. I was gonna take him to this last show. He was in deep blue shed, and I was like, "No, you got to be kidding me, man!" And so, because that's a huge attraction. People seeing a snake like that. I mean, he's not huge, but he's probably 7-ish feet. I mean,
right.
Diameter's not big, maybe a 20-ounce bottle, but I mean, that's big to people.
Right. In the
so
eyes of the common everyday spectator.
Oh, yeah.
Those that know no better, that's a huge freaking snake.
And the crazy thing is retics have, as long as you work with them, they probably have the best attitudes, I would say. You know, they're very intelligent. They're really cognizant of when you're in the room, when you're not in the room, when the lights are out, when the lights are on. But the way I consider retics is if you were to take a boa, mix that boa with a ball python. Ball pythons are kind of lazy, slow, and then you add a boa to it. Boas are fast and busy, and they always just want to go explore. So add the lazy with the explorer, right. And that's how I would think a retic is.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a fair. Yeah, that's a fair.
You know, I mean, they're not the fastest things in the world, but they're definitely curious.
I mean, they move pretty fast.
Yeah, well, yeah, if they're going to strike,
especially when there's a food response. But
oh yeah, the food response. They move
pretty fast.
Yeah, I've got one female, and she definitely has a food response. And so when she's in her cage, I mean, she's cage aggressive. As soon as you get her out, puppy dog. So just don't smell like anything. You know, you're all good. They'll eat anything. I bet you know that.
Sure. Oh yeah, with all the ones I have, I never have to waste a frozen thawed rat ever again in my life.
No. Well, I do have a Nile monitor. I've got a peach throat monitor. I just jumped into something pretty cool animal. Uromastyx.
Okay.
Spiny tails. You know, there's not a lot of them out there, and they're easier than a bearded dragon. You know, they're vegetarian. You don't have to feed them bugs. I've done some research, and people say you don't even have to give them water because they get all their water from their greens. And I'm kind of hard up, like I couldn't do that. And so they do have a little water dish that I always fill up. But yeah, they're just a desert animal. And the reason I got them is because when I was deployed, I actually seen those Uromastyx out in the wild. And I'm actually been looking into getting, they call them Egyptian Uromastyx. Mm-hmm. So they're the ones that get like pretty big, probably 30 inches is what they're saying they can hit it. So I might work with those down the road, but I'm starting with the little ones first. So, because people like them. I mean,
you got to learn the husbandry.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the hardest part on any new animal is getting the husbandry down, and then it's fairly easy sailing after that.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's kind of like I had a cage downstairs, and you know, REPTICHIP guy, you know, I put REPTICHIP in there just to kind of tie it over. And then I talked to my son, and my son turns around and goes, "Hey, you got to do something different with that." And I go, "I know, relax, calm down. This is just for the night, you know." And sure enough, you guys probably seen on my Instagram, you know, I posted up their setup, and their setup's all desert. You know, it's got sand, it's got rocks, it's got bricks in it. You know, they got a heat and everything like that. So, but yeah, I've got a few. I probably got 400 rats also that I take care of, chickens.
That's insane, dude.
2 dogs, you know. So the lychee, I don't have the lychee anymore. I sold the lychee.
You got rid of the lychee?
Well, okay. I want a female to raise up if I ever decide. And there was a guy looking for a male lychee. And I actually have a good friend, Melanie from Rattlesnake Geckos. She does lychees, and she actually has one that I've been interested in. It's a pure Nuana lychee, and it is a female. So I'm planning on, you know, down the road purchasing that one if she doesn't sell it before I can get to it.
They're coming for you in the background, Jeremy.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Do you want me to turn that down?
No, you're good, brother.
That's crazy. I guess my mic's picking up way good, I guess. Probably sound pretty clear, huh?
Yes, sir.
And then My son ended up taking his green tree python. So the green tree python's down in Arizona. And so I'll probably get something just as a visual animal, you know, a green tree or an emerald or something that's really cool to look at that you handle every once in a while, you know, just because once I have my reptile room, my monitor will be downstairs, my peach throats, my everything will be in that room or my office. And so I won't have.
Throats are freaking awesome.
It'll be weird though, because I have animals right now just everywhere right now. Oh yeah. And so I've moved some of them out into my son's old room and reset that up just so I can move them in and just kind of space them out and then be like,
there, though?
Huh?
Is the bed still there though? I need to make sure I have a bed.
Yes, yes. It's a drop down. It's tipped up to the wall. But hey, anytime you want, I'll just go boom and it's good. So yeah, you're more than welcome anytime. You know that. So
you already know.
Yeah, I need to come down. I need to do the Arlington show.
I'm just saying, I'm like halfway there. You could come here, hang out for a night, and we could drive up together.
Well, that'd be so sweet. Yeah, because Tinley, you need to go to Tinley. That's a riot.
I was supposed to go October, but we all know how that turned
out. That was the one I went to, and that one was a blast.
Well, so Tinley's always my birthday week too. So it's like it's kind of a mixture of like Mama wants me here so we could do a family thing, and I'm like, well, I want to go up there and be with all my reptile friends, and I haven't been here yet. Like that's the one show I need to go to. I'm trying to push it, and she agreed to it this year. And like I had housing, I had the flight, I had everything set up, and then last second it got canceled. But that's how it goes. It is what it is.
That thing was just unbelievable. Like I've been to shows, and when I went to Pomona that's a good show. That's a fun show too.
Pomona's a hard show, man. Like if you do it right, you could see every booth and actually spend time with everybody. But good Lord, like
Tinley, you can't. I don't think because
no way. You got to make a plan.
Well, so I went VIP, paid VIP passes, and so that gets you in when the vendors go in to set up. And so it was like they let you in at noon on Friday. Everybody's setting up, and you're just walking around, BSing with people. And then the next day, you just walk to the door, show them your badge, walk right in. And I bet I was there probably 12 to 6 on Friday. And I was probably 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock on Saturday, and same with Sunday. And I don't think I visually stopped and looked at what was actually all there.
It's hard. Like, yeah. Especially when you're at the bigger shows. Like so I haven't been to Anaheim yet. I'm kind of tempted to go to the Anaheim show in this January just to see the difference.
Yeah.
But, like even with Pomona, man.
Are they doing the Anaheim or are they going back to Pomona?
Right now it is scheduled. So right now they have it scheduled for Anaheim in the spring. It might switch over to Pomona. I don't know. It all depends. But from what I saw, it said Anaheim. It might be Pomona.
I heard the parking was expensive. That was the one negative I heard about it. They said the show was great, and apparently the building's bigger, but it's so close to Disneyland. I heard it was.
Yeah,
that was the flaw right there. So.
But you got to get in where you could fit in with this industry. Unfortunately, like it's hard to get.
Yeah,
it's hard to even get convention centers to say yes. Like I remember, we used to have a Repticon here in El Paso.
People. Hold on one second. Okay.
Lord. Turn that shit off. You're live, man.
Oh man, it's crazy.
Your adoring fans can wait.
Oh, dude.
I'm just kidding.
Being a distributor, I mean, it is. Your phone blows up. That was actually one of my breeder friends also. So when I started, I sold one kid a snake, and then he bought this first snake from me, and now he just bought an ARS rack. I mean, he breeds his own rodents. He's just around the corner from me. And he kind of, learned from me and watched how I did it. And he produced, pieds and bells this last season. So, I mean, they're all growing. I have another friend, and that's who called. And he's real local. And he just produced some inchy blackhead yellow bellies. I mean, killer, right? So, second year of breeding.
Blackhead's fucking impressive, man.
Right?
I'm digging the gene. I don't know. Like, honestly, with the way my collection's going, I can't promise anything anymore.
Right.
Like, I know I'm going strong into the RETIC game this year. I'm going strong into the Black King Snake game. And then I'm just I'm feeling out this first year of actually having snakes to sell that I produced myself. You know what I mean? Like,
you got eggs waiting on the eggs.
Yeah, I got what I thought was one clutch, and I now have 3 females that are laying on their side and pissed off at the world and won't eat, and I'm just waiting. Like, I thought it was only going to be one, and I'm getting signs from 3, so hopefully all 3 of them go and everything.
Have you seen an ovulation?
So to be fair, I saw an ovulation with one.
Okay.
The other 2, I was gone for about 3 weeks, which would have been when the time that they would have ovulated. So but with all they're showing.
Kind of a fun fact that I do is a lot of the time I don't catch the ovulations. So usually during breeding season, after I got to the point, I'm not pairing the males anymore, and I know I'm done for the season, kind of just let them do their thing. Whenever they shed, I just write the shed date on their tub.
Right.
Because 30 days after a shed, roughly, you should have eggs. And so usually when it gets that close, I'll write every single one of them down. And then once they do a different one, I'll put a different one. Just because then I have a ballpark. Like, if they decide and I start seeing really good signs, then I know, okay, this is my window. It just makes it easier on me. Because I really didn't think the one I actually had that clutch today. I didn't think she was going to go. I mean, I paired her. Joel from State 48 paired her, and now it is October.
Yeah.
I finally seen an ovulation last month, and I was like, she's gonna lay, and that just kind of blew my mind because I think last season my last clutch was like in August. Damn. And I'm getting them clear into October. I've got another one next month, and I'm like, how are you guys laying eggs in November? I mean, I paired 2 months later than I normally do.
Well, to be fair, I'm not gonna get that yellow belly's eggs till the beginning of December. I don't plan on them
so crazy.
February.
So you got 2021 babies.
Yeah, like I didn't. So the issue is, it stayed so hot here last year that they didn't go into a breed mode until like December, January timeframe. So I didn't start pairing till February because they started that hunger strike and I upped their food for about a month and then I started pairing them. But it's just like, I didn't get anything until it was freaking like, I didn't start the whole process till February. And here I am 10 months later.
Gosh, it's wild. I mean? Like, I've got another girl that's supposed to lay next month. And so this last one that laid today, I was really thinking she was set to lay on the 2nd. So I'm thinking, okay, the second she lays, that would be 60 days later. That would be the 1st of January. And I'm like, I've got New Year's babies. And then all of a sudden I seen the other girl, but then this girl decided to go 3 days early. And so now I'll have them technically, because I cut at day 55. So Christmas Eve, I'm cutting eggs.
That's awesome, dude.
That's way cool. I mean, huh?
What better Christmas present?
Right. So Jake Stocks, the one that just popped up, that's actually one of my breeder friends here locally. And so
nice. Is that one of the guys that you sold to that you said you helped out, or is that someone that kind of?
He's the one that hit the inchy blackhead yellow belly.
Okay.
He actually landed 2. Nice. So kind of helping him learn how to sex snakes and stuff like that, because until you finally get the rhythm and kind of figure it out, you're just like, is that a male or a female?
And you get it with a ball python, but go do it with his retics and tell me what you think about it, Jake. It's a lot more fun.
So boas, do you know how to sex boas?
I mean, I know how to probe them or how to read their scales, but
okay. So kind of a fun fact about the males and females. So what you'll do is you'll run your thumb down right around their butt line, kind of like you're going to pop them, but instead of popping them, you run it from there down the back of their tail. And if you basically, their hemipenes are in a V. So if you feel that V or you feel like a little pop, that's a male. A little fun fact. So if you ever get a small boa, you can run and you'll feel it. It's crazy. And so I helped my buddy end up sexing his. Yeah, because you can feel their hemipenes. Females don't have those. So you're not going to feel
nothing. I would hope not.
Well, but you never know. I mean, could they have the same kind of, I don't know.
Same basic structure.
Right. You would semi think, I guess, but with the hemipedes, you can feel them and you'll feel kind of a pop. It's crazy.
So what would you say, Vern's asking what people's plans are for the year. What would you say are your biggest, like your top 3 that you're willing to tell people for the year?
Of what I'm going to start pairing?
Yeah.
So I'm actually probably not going to pair too much because all the expos were canceled, but all my girls laid late. So that was a good thing. I have 2 expos this year and I don't think I'll sell everything. So I'm not going to overwhelm myself and I'm just going to keep stocking up my females, getting them beefy for next season. Some people are like, hey, just go year round, but year round that'd be tough. I mean, I haven't done year round, so I'm not 100% on that one.
I mean, you could always switch it like rack to rack that way.
Right. So when I breed, I tell a lot of people when you breed, I mean, I know Justin Kabelka has a better percentage rating, but when you pair, don't plan on hitting all those pairings. I mean, I've hit a good average of about 50%. So if I pair 16, I'm going to get 8 on a ballpark, right. Because some of the females might not want to go or they're just not ready. So
it was like my GHIs this year. Like everyone knows I'm all about the fucking GHI morph, but
add a black pastel to it. Oof.
Yeah, and I'm all about freaking putting that into clown. And I've paired the hell out of both of my GHI females, and those are the only 2 that show me no sign.
That's crazy.
So,
and if you don't try and pair them, you're not going to know, and you're not going to get her to that point.
And I'm going right back into that. So this year, I'm waiting to see if all 3 of those females go. If they don't go within like the next 2 months, I'm gonna start playing the game and look back into pairing and see if they reabsorbed or what the hell went on, because all the signs there, unless I'm a fucking idiot, which could very well be the case. I mean,
until you actually see the whole process. My first year was just like luck of the draw. I'm like, oh yeah, I got 4 clutches this year, and that was me not knowing what I was doing, but I had a good idea. But now I've got to the point I can look at a snake and say, yes, that snake's going to lay, just because of their structure, the way they're sitting, just everything about them. So it makes it a lot easier for me to understand them. The more you get into them, the more you can pretty much read them. So the first year, this is pre-lay shit. No, that's not. Then you go to the next time. Oh, that's a pre-lay. No, that's not. Now I've got to the point I'm within less than 7 days when I know my girls are going to lay. And so that's pretty good.
That's badass, brother. Like, my problem is, like you said, just not having it happen in person yet. Like, I've been around people, I know the cycles. I have a fucking sheet of paper that says the cycle for female ball python reproduction. You know what I mean? Like, all the information's there. It's in my head. But it's just like, fuck. And you start second guessing yourself.
Oh, you're always second guess yourself.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was getting a single clutch this year. I had no clue. Like, I was like, I ain't getting nothing this year. I go, I don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden I started seeing, all the signs, and I'm like, okay, maybe it'll just be a late year. But it is like a super late year.
Well, I mean, even Utah, like, you guys were fucking warm later, because when I forget how long ago it's been. I think it's been a year, a little over a year since I quit driving on the road. But my last stop was in Utah, and I visited you, I think.
Yeah.
And or no,
is that when I took you to all those
visited you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So all like, right after that, it wasn't a month after that, I was done driving, and I was just like, fuck it. I'm tired of being away from the family all the time, just because it was hard. Like, I was going through my shit, But it's just, even your years up there. Like, I have a bunch of buddies up in Utah, and they're all like a lot of them are motorcycle riders, obviously, because that's my secondary lifestyle. But we talk about going up there, and they were riding around in like November last year, and I mean, there's snow, but it's not.
Oh, there's no snow right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
weird.
no. Yeah, for a typical year, it hasn't, like, the last 2 winters from what I'm seeing, or falls, I guess, because we're not really into winter. But the last 2 falls have been somewhat mild for you guys.
Yeah, but when it hits, it buries you. I actually used to work for a local city here, and I used to plow the snow, and that is miserable. I mean, you're talking 25, 36 hours straight driving a truck, and you're just like, oh, I can't do this. The overtime's great, but I couldn't do it anymore.
Mama, we've been to a couple of spots. Like, we're looking at a couple of different spots in Texas, because we're ready to get out of El Paso, right?
Right.
And we're looking at a couple different spots in Texas, and we're looking up near my dad and his family, because it'd just be nice to have the kids around him and let him do his grandfathering thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he lives all the way up in New England, and it's like, well, I've lived up there 1 year.
Pretty far up there.
I've lived 1 year up there. Well, not even a full year. I hit the beginning of winter up there, and I was like, yeah, fuck this, I'm out. And I moved back to Texas. Like, beginning of December of the year I lived there, I was like, this is too much snow. Mid-October, they had 3 feet of snow, and I was like, I can't fucking do this.
Oh, no way. I don't know. Snow's nice, but I'd rather it in the mountains.
It's nice for kids, but
yeah, just stay in the mountains. We can go sledding somewhere else, Okay, we're going to the mountains, go sledding, still mowing your lawn out in the front yard. That'd be nice.
Right.
But to your question, I think probably I'm not pairing this season, but one of my best pairings so far, I'm thinking, is probably going to be Inchy Cinnamon Pinstripe Pied female, bred to a Leopard Pinstripe Pied. So everything's going to be pied. And, so plus now I'm hearing Inchy and Cinnamon are allelic. So we'll see how that pairing lands. It'll be interesting to see if I hit one just like the mom or not.
Well, I mean, it's kind of starting to prove out a little bit with the Sunset project over at Cusco's, from what I understand. Like, when he
for the Inchy Cinnamon stuff,
Inchy Cinnamon Sunset, everything's either Inchy or Inchy Sunset or Cinnamon Sunset, but nothing's
both.
Well, no, he gets both. You know what I mean? but
Yeah.
it's like
it'd have to be from
there's
both
no
parents.
normal sunsets. There's no normal sunsets, which shows that they kind of carry down the same allele.
Well, and it's kind of like I work with spot nose quite a bit, and spot nose and chocolate apparently is an allelic thing, and from what I'm hearing is black pastel could be too. I'm not sure about that one, but I heard Justin Kabelka just did the video on chocolate, because he turned around and tried to do I can't remember which one it was. It was one of his darker ones. Not the Pompeii, but one of his Batman darker ones, maybe the Dark Knight. I'm not sure, but he tried to pair that one, and I mean, he's got records, just sheets and sheets and sheets, and come to find out, he's proving that out, that chocolate and spot nose is allelic. So it's interesting because we got so many genes out there that could be allelic. So I'm interested to see what this pairing is. I've been raising her up, trying to get her ready. And actually at Tinley, I picked up my leopard pinstripe pied, and he's a super low white. And so, I'm not going to put a het to my 4 gene girl, not yet, at least. You know how it is. Pied to pied makes a pied.
Well, no, I understand that. But
I mean, I would after I seen, what she produced from that. But I do. I mean, if you guys have seen my logo, that is a pastel bongo, and he's het pied. So, has anybody seen a bongo pied yet? I don't think so. So, that'll be a fun one to work with. I work with black pastel quite a bit. I got a black pastel. Actually, I have a black pewter het pied that I work with. And so, I've got a bunch of fun stuff. I actually held back just a clown female last year. I didn't want any pastel clowns because I have a male. And, if you guys know pastel, it kind of dulls out the clowns. So I purposely held back that female because she's just a solid clown. And now I can work on the darker stuff. Preference, so. Yeah, well, and it is. Pastel, I think looks. I mean, pastel is great.
I like it. I like the pastel clowns. I do agree with you. They do kind of.
They fade out.
They diminish and fade out and make the adult look worse. But as a baby, they're
smoking. They're smoking when they're babies.
You're gonna drop it in with a simple pastel clown.
Yeah, I just proved out one of my females. Supposedly, she was a het clown, from what the guy said. She finally went this year. I didn't even think she was going to go. And then she threw 4 really big eggs, probably my biggest eggs of the year. And I hit a normal, 2 pastels with pretty funky patterns, and then I hit a pastel clown. And so right there proved my het girl out. But yeah, like you said, I mean, when they're babies, they are smoking. So,
dude, I love them. Like how, I don't know, like and that's the hard thing with ball pythons. I think that's why my love for retics is growing. Actually, is because as they mature, they get better.
Oh yeah.
Versus with a ball python, as they mature, unless you're looking at like Desert Ghost or there's a couple other genes, man, but a lot of it just seems to lose its appeal as it grows older.
Well, and I think, and I do too, but I've noticed it looks super good on certain genetics. And so I want to work darker stuff in my clown stuff, not as much as the pastels. Pastels are all
the same route as me.
Probably in a different. So I'm not. Manner. I'll probably stay away from DG a little bit for a while. I know a lot of people are working with DG. A lot of people are dealing with DG. A lot of people are dealing with sunset stuff. Puzzles. I would love to get into puzzle, but I know they're top dollar. A lot of people want to work with them.
So like everyone says, I think there's one person that's gotten a GHI puzzle. One or
that
two
would be
people.
Cool. That would be cool.
Bred it, but I know a bunch of people that have been going for that combo for forever, right? And
Didn't they just say they can't hit that? Oh, yeah. It was RCR, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't he tried to hit it? And there was somebody else that tried to hit it
like 3 years in a row, along
they haven't hit it yet.
William Philippek.
Yeah,
but allegedly, I think it's someone in the UK hit it.
I'd love to see it. So, but back to pastels. I like pastels in inches. You know, Orange Dreams, any of that kind of stuff. I mean, it just blows them apart. Where'd you go?
I'm still here. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. I was like, okay, where did he go?
Didn't mean to mess with you. My bad.
All of a sudden my screen goes bloop. So, but I really think, you know, certain ones are good with pastel. And so I've kind of singled out which ones I wanted to do pastel. So like bananas, I love the banana gene. Just the bright purples and the bright yellows and stuff like that. But when you add pastel to it, I don't think you get the brightness of what that gene actually does. And so that's kind of what I meant by pastels. I think clowns look good, a straight clown, beautiful. Even the pastel clowns, I have one. I have a, you know, proven breeder male, and you know, I bought him when he was a baby, raised him up, and he's been a proven breeder for me for a while now. But certain ones kind of fade them out. And so, you know, I'll work darker genes with certain genes just so I don't fade out the good look to them. Does that make sense?
Right. No, I understand that.
That's why everybody wants a DG, because as DG gets bigger and older, you know, they start looking way better. And so,
but they also, like, I really enjoy them. I haven't jumped into it yet because I'm focused on 3 genes, and with where I'm trying to take everything else, I'm trying to just stay focused on those 3 genes. Like, don't get me wrong, I have probably 15 different genes behind me, but everything's going around what I want to do with 3 different genes. You know what I mean?
Genes do you like working with? What are you playing with?
It's going to be clown, GHI, and pied.
And those are everybody likes clowns, everybody likes pieds. You know, I'm actually diving into genetic stripe. You know, when I first bought the genetic stripe, I bought her because she was pretty.
Right.
But then when I started breeding her and started doing some research and stuff like that, like right now I have a boy growing up that hopefully he can breed this next season. Well, not this, I don't know, however the season is right now. So he's probably 200-300 grams. But I got a banana inchy 100% het for genetic stripe. So I have a pastel genetic stripe female that I picked up and been adding weight to her, and I'm hoping to breed him to her. But then comes that pastel we were talking about.
Right.
But I would really like to hit, you know, let's say a pastel inchy genetic stripe, or, you know, it'd be cool to hit a banana inchy genetic stripe. So, because I think, like I said,
in and of themselves are fucking nice. So.
Oh, they're smoking. I mean, and they're not that hard. They got one recessive in it, but they are smoking.
You get it into that genetic stripe, or you get it into clown, and it's
I'm working that one too. Everybody's jumping into the clown genetic stripe stuff. I actually bred my genetic stripe girl with my pastel clown this year, and she said, "Nope, I'm not gonna go this year." So everybody jumped that game on me, and I was like, "Okay." So now I gotta twist it.
Well, I mean, there's at least one person I know that can probably get you in on that game a little bit faster.
Yeah. Okay. Let me know.
It's Small Town Exotics, because everything he does is
he just barely did it. Yeah, and I was surprised, and so I was actually talking to him on lives before he even had his eggs, and I'm like, oh man, I'm pairing him too, and sure enough, my luck, I was like, okay, I missed out on that one, but hey, it's all good. I mean, I've got a banana inchy. I got a banana inchy 100% het genetic stripe. So I'm working it.
Badass babies. You don't have to. Oh yeah. It's gonna come with time.
And the perks about breeding is guess who gets to pick first?
Right.
That's the best part right there. Be like, I'm keeping that one, that one, that one, that one, you know.
See, like my wife loves bananas, so I can't get rid of our last banana right now. But so all my GHIs are females, and my banana's a male. Well, it's not even a regular banana; it's a banana bumblebee. But so I'm gonna push that to one of my females after I have my clown hets from GHI.
Mhm.
So once I get those to go, the next one will be that banana pairing to get banana GHIs to create banana GHI
There you
heads,
go.
and then go into it. So I'll have a light spectrum and a dark spectrum with GHI clowns. But
and that's the way to work it. I mean, you have to, you know, that's the same thing with pastel again. You know, pastel is awesome, but you got to work them in different directions and pick what you want to work them with.
If it was up to me, I'd do everything dark, but not everyone likes dark. So I'll get stuck with a bunch of babies that I don't necessarily want either.
Yeah, and I know just recently on the chat, Herper was saying they like the super stripes.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working with a boy. It's a pastel inchy Spectre. I'm not 100% sure if he's Spectre. I've tried to prove him out twice. He hasn't thrown any super stripes, but yes, I'm working the super stripe project as well because the last female that's gonna lay is a butter cinnamon yellow belly bred to a pastel inchy Spectre. So that one's gonna step me up because I've never worked with 6 genes. So we'll see how good I can kind of pick it apart.
You're gonna get your guess the gene really well on that one.
Yeah, and I really hope he proves out on this one because there's a good possibility I could get inchy pewter super stripes,
right?
Or butter inchy pewter super stripes. I mean, that would be, I don't even know what that would look like, to be honest with you. And so we'll find out. So my last 2 clutches of the season are going to be the blow aparts because, you know, that I told you I had eggs today, which was the Scaleless head female bred to a Scaleless head pin. Fingers crossed on that one. And then you got that other one with 6 genes. So I'm either going to hit it.
Remember these small guys that you know and love when the time comes.
Yeah, that's how it works, though. I mean, breeders help breeders, and I think I vend a lot of expos, and I've met a lot of people, a lot of stickers. Got a lot of different shirts. I've been doing not very good on it, but my Sunday shout outs on Instagram, you know, wearing their shirts and stuff. But that's what happens is you get to the point you're talking to other breeders, and a breeder's going to help a breeder.
Right.
You know, they're going to give a better deal because they know
they're worth their salt. They're going to help a breeder.
Yeah. So, you know, I've met a bunch of people like Jimmy, you know, from Ball Life. Joel, I've met him, you know, big YouTuber, but, you know, that's where I got my Scaleless heads from. And he gave me a deal on those, you know. Todd from Unbelievables, you know. Dude, just those kind of people, a bunch of people out there, you know, and I couldn't even list them all. But they all know me just because of the expos. And, you know, I'd take a break, I'd run around and, you know, talk to other people and see what they're working with, because there's always something that's going to fit in your projects. If, you know, cost works for you, or that animal works for you, or if you've got the space and stuff like that. So, you know, everybody
brought up Todd, man.
Todd?
Yeah, that's like a third of my collection.
Oh, Todd's a stud.
I actually texted him when the yellow belly went into ovulation. And I was like, "Hey, congratulations!" And he's like, "For what?" And I was like, "You're gonna be a snake grandpa."
Yeah,
he made it work.
Yeah. Todd's a good guy, and he works with some cool stuff. And he kind of flies under the radar, but he does a lot of expos. And that's how I've met him, because I do the Vegas Expo. I'm actually set to do the Phoenix.
Staying in your room next Vegas Expo.
Yeah,
I have my in.
Yeah, I win the Vegas shows. I probably won't be able to hit January's because they keep rolling it, you know.
Right.
So that was one of the ones I didn't pay for. I paid for the local one here. That one rolled the fall. I paid for the Phoenix one. That one's rolled to the fall, which is next month. So I will be in Phoenix, Arizona, the weekend before Thanksgiving. So, you know, there you go. Come on down, check it out.
I would love to.
Phoenix isn't that far for you, is it?
No, it's 6 hours. It's
That's not bad.
But it's not the drive. It's I already have prior engagements.
Hey, I think we all do, you know.
Like, so I set up. I'm gonna go see my mom because I moved her back up to northern New Mexico. So, and no one's been to see her since she moved for quite a few months now. So I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna visit her for a weekend, and then I'm gonna hang out with one of the breeders up there that's also in the same city. So
That'll be good though.
Little double tap for the weekend, but it's the same weekend as the Phoenix Expo. But
Right.
with like with you going there, and obviously State 48. And,
it sounds like he's trying to pull Adam. Yeah. He's trying to pull Adam in, and Adam's thinking about it.
Yeah, Adam should definitely go there.
Well, and I know Joel was at the last one, so I actually went down to check it out before. So I kind of scope out the expo before I go. And with me being the distributor, I have to have my showing. And so with my son being down there, that makes it nice because he's down. So get this, just for future reference. My son's going to be a Harley mechanic.
Tell him to come fix everything on my bike.
So yes, I told him, I go, big bore kit, boy, big bore. Mm-hmm. And he goes, you're going to have to pay me. I was like, what? You got to be kidding me.
I'll pay him. I'm not going to pay him master technician price out of Harley, but I'll pay him.
Right. So, but he's down there actually repping REPTICHIP for me. And so when I go down there, it's a perfect time to visit my son and, you know, that kind of stuff. So I try and keep it pretty spread out. I go anywhere from like southern Idaho all the way down to Arizona. So I try and hit a couple different ones. I know there's 2 really good ones in Arizona that I want to hit. So we'll see. This whole COVID thing's kind of blown everything out of the water a little bit.
So within the next year, because of having to adjust to COVID, obviously took a fucking toll on all of us. Some made it out a lot better than others. Like I know guys that are like, I don't even want to vend anymore. Because I did so well with internet sales that I just want to stick with internet sales. But what do you think in the next year? Like, what do you expect to see from the industry or from you yourself?
I'm going to keep vending. I really enjoy it. I mean, it's good to socialize with people and learn different ways to speak to people. Like, I mean, you get a lot of these people that have no idea how to take care of a snake. And you know, that's my job when I sell a snake. And if I can get a new customer that buys from me and enjoys it, now I've just spread that knowledge, and now they're going to keep raising animals, you know, snakes, reptiles, whatever they have. That's what I'm pushing. So I really enjoy the expos. They're fun. You can get out, talk to people, and educate people. As far as where am I going to be in a year, I'll probably be breeding the next step, you know, of what I'm shooting for, you know, the banana inchy genetic stripes. I'm going to be starting to tie into some bongo stuff. Let's see, probably some super stripes. I'll probably work more clown stuff. I actually just picked up a pastel Mojave clown from a local breeder. I'm going to start tying the Mojaves into clowns. And then, you know, we'll do some trading about the GHI clowns and the Mojave clowns. I'd be curious to see what that's
it's
gonna
great,
look.
man. It's fucking solid. So I've already seen it. It's one of the ones that I'm actually shooting for because I've seen it.
Oh yeah.
So like in between the alien heads is pure white.
Oh really?
It's gorgeous, man. And then the alien heads get raised a little bit because of the Mojave, so it's not the full side on it, but it maintains the clown pattern, and the GHI just kind of like wonks out the alien heads a little bit. Like it's a gorgeous fucking snake, man.
Plain jeans are awesome to work with. That's one thing is the plain jeans are awesome to work with, and people are like, well, I want to go buy a 5 gene animal. Okay, if you're buying a 5 gene animal and you tie it to a 1 gene animal, what happens? You got 5 genes. If you want to hit, say, GHI Mojave, and you're tying a 5 gene GHI to a Mojave, chances you just basically killed your odds. You know? So I tell a lot of people, I mean, single gene animals are great to have. I mean, just a normal. I have some African imports that I'm curious to see what are, and I'm going to breed those into the normals and possibly some yellow bellies because they have something in them. And, you know, gravel, specter, yellow belly, all those weird genetics that you can't really tell, but, you know, something's there. You breed it in and you'll be able to find out. You know, you could get ivories, you could get super stripes, you know. So people think single gene animals aren't great, but they are great. They are the founder of basically everything if you think about it.
Exactly. So, and that's one of the things that I freaking when I was talking on the Iron Animal show on Monday, I was like, a lot of people give me crap because I only have one, or no, I'm sorry, I had 2 females that I paired that were more than 1 gene. But I have a lot of single gene females, and it's because I find that to be the best quality of that single gene, and that's what I want to produce into combos. And once I get it the way I want it into combos, okay, then that female can get traded out for something else. But
yeah,
I want the best example I can find to go into my combos. So yes, I'm gonna start from the very bottom and have to build everything up myself, but it's worth it in the end.
Oh yeah, well, and kind of like this year. So every year I've bred a spot nose, pastel spot nose, and I've got pastel spot noses. I've got super pastel spot noses. He has never thrown a single spot nose, just a straight spot nose. And if you've seen a straight spot nose, their head stamps are killer. And the funny thing is, my buddy I told you that I've been helping breed, he turned around and bought one of my pastel spot noses, bred it this season, and he hit a spot nose. I just want a spot nose to tie into everything else. You know, no pastel. Because remember, we talked about it. I have that, but I keep throwing super pastel spot noses or pastel spot noses because I don't know if it's because he has thick pastel lines. I don't know. But yeah, it's just kind of funny. You have to work them and decide the genes you want to work with.
You're literally cursing the odds gods for giving you the odds.
Well, it's crazy though. I love super pastel spot noses. I love them. I love pastel spot noses. But when you're pushing to try and get something, don't plan on it because you might not get it. So don't beat yourself up. Just keep working towards it. And I've done it for 3 years in a row, and he's produced beautiful animals. But I just want that single gene to work with. Kind of like what you were saying. You have females that are 2 genes. You know, it doesn't matter, but it does cut back on your odds. You know.
No, I hear you 100%.
It's crazy. It's crazy how it works.
It's a fun game, man. Like I think that's what keeps a lot of people into ball pythons, though.
Oh well, and get this. I actually paired a Mojave female to a GHI, 2 genes, and so I ended up pulling the clutch. I got 5 eggs, and the weirdest thing is, I got 3 normals and 2 Mojaves. No GHI, nothing in that whole clutch. I paired him with her the year prior and she didn't go. So I know there's no other father. But hey, you know, it's luck of the odds. I mean, that's just, you know.
Thanks, Sergio. Hey, I look forward to that picture, brother. I really want to see what you think is the craziest one.
Like, I keep looking at the comments on my phone.
Oh, you're good, man.
Because I'm like, I can't
it's hard to keep up.
Oh, yeah. Well, and when you have to run off your phone, it's a little different. And so, but yeah,
it should be a way, like, if you pull it up and you set up in the StreamYard on, when you open up the window, the top right, by where it shows whether you're broadcasting or not, when you're signed in,
private chat
should
comment?
give you, so comments.
Hey, there it is.
There you go.
Hey, I learned something new
now
today.
You can see everything.
Wow, that's sweet. I did Iron Dogs the whole
Now get off your damn phone. No, I'm just
I was seriously like Iron Dog. I was on Iron Dogs. I'm like, hey, I can't see the chat. And he goes, you can't? No. And he goes, well, you could probably use your phone. So that's why I pulled up my phone. I was like, hey, all right. So that's why I've kind of been checking it, you know, because I'm like, okay, I don't really answer any questions because I couldn't see the chat. And so, hey,
so this has been kind of a kick for me lately. Your animals. So if you could have one animal, we'll say in pretend land, and you don't have to worry about like licenses and all that shit. You didn't have to worry about room or price or anything. One animal, what would it be? And then one that you can legally have.
Legally, it's all about dollars. I love the Bell phase lace monitors. Oh, the black and whites. I mean, they're unbelievable. Like, I didn't even know that even existed, you know? So that would be one of the ones I would really, you know, now that I have a Nile monitor that's about 5 foot long, people are like, those are the worst animals. Well, they're not the worst animals. It's how you maintain them, how you treat them, and stuff like that. I think that's what it is. And so I think a Bell face would be, I mean, ideally, I mean, awesome to handle, awesome to have, awesome to show. Now,
they draw me in every time. I'll give you that. Like every time I pass them at a show, I always find one booth that has them, and they'll only sell a pair, and they'll only sell them as the pair. You can't buy just one.
Yeah, it's only 10 grand though.
Yeah, it's only 10 grand.
Yeah, I seen him at Tinley. I was like, I want that. Oh, no, I don't. Let's take some of them zeros off. Now, any reptile as far as legally here, so you can have a lot here, but there's a lot of things you can't have because of it's native to Utah. I think probably a Gila Monster, probably. You know, I think that would be way cool.
So you want to dabble into the venomous a little bit?
No, it's not that I want to. I really want to. You know, I legitimately, if I could have anything, that's what it would be. But I really like the pit vipers. Their colors, it's like having a glorified green tree python ish, because their colors are just so prominent. Like the purples, the greens, the blues, the turquoise. I mean, yellows. That's just, they have so much. I don't know what it is about the venomous animals that have the best colors. So
I love pit vipers, man.
I mean, I just seen when I was down in
bush vipers. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, When I was down in Arizona, they had rattlesnakes, just rattlesnakes. We've all seen rattlesnakes, and they're okay, whatever. I seen a timberline. I think it was a timberline or timbermine.
The timber rattlesnake.
Yes.
Timberland rattlesnake.
They're so black. I didn't know there was that many different species of rattlesnakes. I mean, those are pretty.
Imagine an axanthic into that.
Oh, I couldn't imagine it.
It's like the venomous community is quiet just because there's a bunch of taboo behind it, and everyone's out for their fucking necks and things like that. But
yeah,
that's where I see myself venturing more and more now. Is like I love the big snakes. I'll always keep pythons. I'll always breed a little bit here and there on pythons, regardless of species. Like I know I'll have a couple of ball python clutches every year. I might do like one retic clutch a year once they get to size, stuff like that. But the venomous community, man, is just cool. Everyone's friendly. They just want you to fucking follow the rules and do it right, and it's something different. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, if they feel like you're gonna be a dumbass and you're not gonna do it, then if they spot that right away, they just won't allow you into it. But
that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I understand the way they want. You know, you have to have, so many hours of working with it, and I think that's awesome. That's great because they don't want just some Joe Schmo coming and be like, okay, I want to buy this one, which you can. I mean, Underground Reptiles, I haven't heard anything great about them, but you can buy a rattlesnake for what, $80? You
could.
Well, and that's why I was telling you about those American alligators up in Idaho that a guy has as a rescue. He got them because some kid decided, hey, I wanted some alligators, and so he ordered them, and they shipped them to him. Like, I don't understand how you can do that, especially when they're illegal in that state. But if you label them different, nobody knows the wiser. And so, I think their rules are great. They're here in Utah. You have to have permits for venomous, and it's hard. There's only like two people in Utah that have them.
Every state, though.
Yeah, well, but
you have to have the permits for it, and you have to have the license to handle it. But just because you're supposed to have that doesn't mean everyone does it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and Utah, so they're pretty strict. There's not very many people that have permits, and that's why I actually Great Basin serpentine or serpentarium. So one of my reps is actually good friends with him and Ben's with him, and he's actually a teacher for biology at one of the colleges here. And that guy has permits for everything. Right. And so we contacted him to get spots for those alligators, but you can get them, but I think it's smart to go the legit way and not have to always worry that somebody's going to come in and take all your animals. Because if you get caught with something like that, you're losing everything, every reptile. And I don't think that's
that, but you're going to get fined for every reptile that you're not supposed to have.
Oh yeah, if not jail time.
Well, even if you get the jail time, so say like you get the jail time, I think the punishment here is like a year max, a year to 2 years max for having unpermitted animals. And they might multiply that based off of the number of illegal animals you have.
Right.
I don't know. Obviously, I'm not gonna test those waters.
But, no, and it's like, the way they do it, I think smart, but I think getting a permit's hard to get here in Utah. I know for a fact. Like I would love to have them, but the permits.
I gotta go 4 hours. So the closest person that I know is 4 hours away in Texas that has a venomous license. So I have to go study with them or study under them for
so many hours.
Mm-hmm. So that's an 8-hour round trip on top of working with these venomous animals.
And it's not a one-day thing. It's not an 8-hour period. You're talking You're talking 1,000 hours, 4,000 hours.
Yeah, like I'm saying X amount of hours, but I can only fit X amount of hours into that day or that weekend that I go visit them, and I work with these animals and they have to sign off on all of that. But just to get there and back is 8 hours.
Yep.
So it's taking the time, and then honestly, the cost of the permits aren't even that bad. Like
no.
Texas is pretty lenient on all that. So it'll be there eventually. If I stay
well, I actually have a friend. So I told you I supply an aquarium with REPTICHIP. It's Sequest. You've probably heard of Sequest.
We've talked about that. We were going to try to go the last time I was there, I think.
Yeah. So Sequest is a local aquarium. They have, caimans. They have different animals. They have fish. They got dwarf retics. They got birds and stingrays. But I'm good friends with some of those people, and they've been over to my house. And one of them that I'm actually pretty good friends with, he's figuring a 5-year plan because he wants to work with venomous animals, and he just really wants to. But he's been in the working with reptiles and different animals. I mean, his whole life. So, I could see him doing that. But with him being able to show me something, I might not have to go get it. Maybe I could, learn from him and stuff like that. So it's all in the process, but I don't know. It's pretty fun. Once you get into this and you start knowing people, you get a little bit behind the scenes, check different things out, and, never thought I'd hold an American alligator, especially in Idaho of all places. Like, that's pretty cool. So,
well, man, we're coming up on an hour and 15. I don't know how long you want to go for. I know.
Hey, you got kids. It's my Friday. I got nothing to do other than probably go check on my rats, and I think I'm good for the night. So I mean, it's up to you. I'm good with whatever you want.
I gotta go eat dinner with them here soon, but
hey, whenever you're ready, I'm good. I don't know if anybody has any questions. I don't even know how many people are on here right now.
We got 7 right now. If anyone does have any questions, throw them up here. What do you what would you say you specialize in? Like, if you had to take it down to one morph.
One morph or one animal? One reptile.
Well, you're predominantly ball python.
Okay.
But I think most of us know that. But I'm saying, like, if you had to, if you said your focus was on one morph right now, like the one that you enjoy the most or you work the most right now, what would it be?
Predominantly, I think probably genetic stripe and clown are the two. Completely separate right now. And I really dig the Scaleless head stuff and the Scaleless stuff, but
you got to draw it down to one, Jeremy. Come on.
I don't know. I think the Scaleless is cool. Scaleless, a Scaleless ball python is very cool. And I do think in time that's going to be bigger and better than what it is. I'm not gonna strictly concentrate 100% on Scaleless, but I do have a Firefly Scaleless head. I do have a pastel Scaleless head, het pied. So I want to focus on that one, just so I can produce Scaleless stuff for me.
Right.
I mean, and if I get more, I would sell them to people, but I just want a Scaleless. If you've ever held a Scaleless, you'll know why. I mean, they are velvet.
They're pretty awesome.
Hey, Jake says it's bamboo. digging the bamboo clouds. That's what I'm digging.
I know a couple people that have them up. I just jumped on one tonight.
I have
decided to hold out for a little bit.
I've got a bamboo 100% het clown boy that I'm gonna try and start breeding next season. that'll be fun. That was one of the holdbacks. So pretty much all my holdbacks are something to grow my projects, which was the banana inchy head genetic stripe. It's the bamboos, but predominantly, I mean, I'm probably 3 roughly that I really, enjoy, and then I'm going to keep pushing. My pastel inchy spectre boy has just been blowing it out of the water. Never got the super stripes, but the colors and patterns on all of his babies are clean. I mean, I've got one picture of one on my Instagram that just blows it away. And so, I don't know if I have a narrowed down. I know a couple of them that I want, not really ones that I'm going to focus on 100%, because most people, not very many people want an expensive snake, but if I can produce my own, it's such a better feeling, So it's kind of like your GHI clowns, Once you hit those, you could have bought one, but what's the point? There's no point. On sand boas, I'm not sure. I've never dealt with sand boas. I just know, like on red tails and stuff like that, you can check them that way. I don't see why not, but don't quote me on that, because it's still the boa style. So, they have a different build in their bodies, as far as I'm concerned.
Tinier too, that might actually.
And you might not even feel it, to be honest, because they're a little bit more girthy instead of on the tail end of a red tail. It's more of a.
It's pretty much all muscle.
Yeah. So, but what about you? What do you see for the next year? Might as well let you've been asking all the questions. Yeah,
I asked all the questions. I'm the host.
I know. Let's ask. I mean, let's find out what
the next year you're gonna see me. Probably stay with my RETIC collection where it is, because Mama said no more full size, and until I'm ready to take out a second mortgage, I can't go deep into the super dwarf stuff. I'm gonna be expanding a little bit. So I'm gonna get into the Mexican black king snakes.
Those are cool.
Not super heavy, but I'm gonna have a couple of. I'm getting ready to pick up 2 females. Probably gonna pick up 2 more, and then because they can double clutch, I'll produce probably 4 to 6 clutches a year of Mexican black kings.
Brumate them and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could do that with my leopard geckos, but I've never done it, and so once a year is good for me.
I think so. I'm at like 28, maybe 29 ball pythons. Mm-hmm. So I'll probably push my ball pythons up to about 40 max, just so I can work projects. And I'm gonna start moving males out of the system, because I'm like everybody. I went snake happy when I first jumped in, and I got a bunch of males because they were cheaper, but I want this gene, and I want this gene, and I want this gene, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this, and now I have a bunch of shit that I can't put together. You know what I mean? I'm refocusing. Like I said, I have those 3 morphs that I'm really going to focus on, and everything that I bring in will either be het for those 2 recessives or have GHI with 1 or 2 on top of it, so that I can work it in. I'm going to try to create some super GHI combos that haven't been seen before. And there's going to be some GHI pied stuff. I'm not going to go heavy into the GHI pied, because I think it kind of looks like the pinstripe pied and other stuff. Like, I appreciate it, but I think you get more out of the GHI with the clown. So I'm going to focus a lot more on the GHI clown stuff.
Hey, that's cool. Expos. What expos you going to? Have you said it? Are you just Arlington? Okay.
So I go to Arlington every spring. Spring and fall. I go to Arlington because we have family right there, anyways.
Oh, that's nice.
Spring, you're looking at If it's in Pomona, I'll probably go. If it's in Anaheim, I'm not fucking going. It's just so I'm getting better with my PTSD and all that stuff, but I get like wicked fucking stress sweats and I'm just not able to focus when I'm in huge crowds. And like the spring Pomona's big, but it's not so big that I can't focus. You know what I mean? Like, plus California, my medicine's legal, so it's all good. But is
I'm
what it
straight
is.
ADD. You put me in an
Yeah,
expo, and
I can't
you've
fucking do
probably
it.
seen that same thing on Facebook where you go into the store, it's straight in, straight out. You go into an expo, and it's like the whole big circle thing. That's me.
Well, it's not even that. Like, I start running into people that watch the channel, or I start talking to vendors that I'm interested in that I haven't really talked to before, and people start bumping me, and I just start losing it, and I go into that like hyper, what's it called? Like a hyper stimulated sense, and I can't turn it off, and like I start sweating, and I just start getting nervous, and I start like overwatching people and just stupid shit. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not worth it. Like I want to go to Tinley just because I haven't been there. I'm gonna like suck it up and just deal with it. But
It's
I'm
fun.
probably gonna have to drink a shit ton to deal with it. But I'm gonna find a way to deal with it. And so yeah, the spring will be. If it's Pomona, I'll go Pomona in January. If it's Anaheim, I'm not going. Um, Hypertension, no, that's your heart, man. Uh, it's hyper alertness, basically, is what it's called. Now that I've had a second to think about it, but it's something that has to do with like PTSD. You go into a fight or flight mode, and you can't fucking bring yourself out of it. Um, but yeah, big crowds still do that shit to me, and I'm trying to get over it. So little by little, like that.
I know that. I know that
Show,
feeling. I had it when I come home from my deployment. I mean, I had a hard time just a birthday party. Like a birthday party, there was so much noise going around. I had to walk out in the front because I was like, okay, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm getting better. Like I don't think mine's crazy bad, but
I mean, I'm getting a lot better than I was. Like I was horrible for a while. Like I wouldn't when this COVID kicked off, I was actually happy because I didn't have to fucking deal with people again.
well, I think not being around people like
it makes you long for them, and it helps out.
Hurts too. So I mean, it's kind of what is it? Catch-22,
Exactly. Like it dives you deeper into that rabbit hole of when you're around people. It makes it harder, and it makes you long for people more. So it's got its ups and its downs with it. But so yeah, I'll hit both the Arlingtons. I'm gonna try to hit at least one Tinley this coming year. I want to make my way down to Daytona and do a Daytona.
That'd be a fun one.
Go
I heard that one's getting big.
Go visit Gatorland and go see Tom Crutchfield and learn about fucking all kinds of animal stuff.
Florida's its own world.
You'd be
so you need a lot of time for that one.
Yeah, that'll be like a week-long vacation. But yeah, I mean, I want to hit California at least once. I might go up to the Sacramento show's always when Arlington is, so I'll never make
well, the Bay one. Have you heard about the Bay one?
I haven't.
Oh yeah, it's Reptilian Nation. Yeah, I think it's the Bay Area, and that one's supposedly blowing up like crazy. And I think that's mid California. So, I thought about
slow area.
Apparently it was pretty good. I mean, I heard vendors were selling out the first day, and so I mean, just to check it out would be kind of neat. I mean,
I'd love to do more in California, man. Like, I love the Pomona show, the San Diego show. It's super fucking hot for each show. Like,
did you go to the San Diego one?
I've been to San Diego one time. I went in 2018, and Like the hotels that they put you up in is like a 2-block walk from the venue. And I mean, it's not bad. It's just you see typical San Diego, and it's like when you're taking your whole family, it's a little unsettling. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You'll in that 2 blocks, you're gonna run into like 6 or 7 fucking homeless people.
Oh yeah.
So it's just it's rough. I mean, it is what it is. It's California. Not that I hate the state, but I almost had my wife talked into moving there because of Cusco. And then they passed a couple of laws that I just didn't agree with, so I nixed it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll have to get together at one of them. We'll have to schedule it.
Yeah, dude.
So
take a little bit of your space away. Take some REPTICHIP. No, I'm just kidding. JT.
Hey, you can come hang out at the table anytime. Anytime. And so it's fun vending. It's different being on the other side. I actually had Aldo. I think it was my second time vending. Aldo actually was behind the table, and he goes, "This is cool." He goes, "I like being on the opposite because now you got people coming to you because they want your stuff. You know, they want to see and ask you questions instead of the opposite where you're going to a table to find something. It's the opposite." And so he actually vended one of the shows, and he goes, it was awesome. He goes, "I almost lost my voice." So
I actually did at last Arlington because I helped out Deadly Tarantula Girl and her husband at their booth for a little while.
It's fun.
I talked to so many vendors and stuff there that I got in the van and we went up to do Josiah's freaking birthday the next day with the family, and I couldn't speak the next day at the birthday party.
That's so crazy, huh? But it's fun though. I mean, I think that's why I like the expos is because, you know, they're addicting. I know people are coming to ask questions, and if I can help them, even if they don't buy an animal from me, at the end of the day, I know they're getting the knowledge that they need to take care of certain animals. So, but yeah,
I'm definitely gonna take you up on that. Like we're gonna have to have.
Oh yeah,
well, expo sometime.
Yeah.
Well, we need to hang out in general sometime because it's been like a year, but
it's been a while. Once you quit driving, so yeah, it's probably good though. It's for the best.
Well, it's definitely for the best. I'm a little bit more sane. The family gets the time they need, so it's a blessing in disguise.
So Jake ended up. So Jake Stocks is actually that kid that I was talking about. He actually did help me, and he has stock serpents, but he helps me out on some of my expos, and he says it's just. I just pay for his ticket. I pay for his to come in, do his thing, and you know, if we're slow, go run around. You know, free 2 days. Why not, right?
Yeah.
So
it's the way my last Pomona was. It was the travel out there, the hotel, everything. The only thing I had to provide was my own beer and food.
Hey, and that's the way to do it.
So why don't you plug all your stuff in, and then I'm gonna have to scramble out to the family. Hope get the munchkins to bed.
All right, sounds good, buddy.
So tell them where you are, or who you are, where they can find you, and why they should choose REPTICHIP.
I'm Jeremy, AllTime Reptiles. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Trying to grow the YouTube channel. I am a distributor.
Check that out. He does some amazing stuff. This man does not have enough followers.
Yeah. I've seen that too, but it's all right. It's all good. You know, I want people to learn. But I am a distributor for REPTICHIP for Utah, Nevada, and Arizona. I've been using it. I've got multiple people using it. It's the best bedding out there. So, yep. John knows.
Hooked, and now I got my little affiliate with him as well.
So
thank you for that.
Definitely hit up the reps. You know, you can even go on to the website, find out the closest distributor or rep, and grab a block, try it out. You won't go back. So,
yes, sir.
But
so it's just AllTime Reptiles on
Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
All right, that's who.
And if you guys want to email me, AllTimeReptiles at gmail.com.
The branding wizard.
I try. So.
All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out tonight. And all of our viewers, thank you very much for stopping in tonight.
Yep, thank you.
It was a lot of fun. This is more of a kickback, kind of just talking about what's been going on since we saw each other, is what it felt like. So I appreciate y'all. We'll see you on the next one. Stay blessed.